seconds.
Hi everyone, trying to get back to the live stream again. I'll just probably start from the beginning. The first thing, like I already said, I want to discuss Earth atmosphere composition. I remember amount of oxygen in atmosphere was over 30% sometime in 2015ish, and right now I looked it up a couple of days ago. It's 78% nitrogen, only 21% oxygen, almost 1% argon. So someone is terraforming planet Earth. Terraforming, that means make it suitable for their existence. I watched a couple videos on Dan Winter YouTube channel, and he was actually telling about drug reptilians and moon being a big ship, uh, like spaceship for the reptilians. They actually live there, and as right now, because it runs on nuclear energy, that it's pretty much it's decaying. So they pretty much have to. My assumption, they probably evacuating population of moon to Earth. That's why for the past 40, 50 years they were actually making Earth suitable for reptilians. Uh, that's why they actually reptilians they also like higher nuclear content, higher radiation. So that's what explain all those nuclear disasters what we were actually experiencing here on Earth. Also, they like more dry environment, and actually, some places got drier and some places got much wetter. So I do not know how well that goes for them. Much wetter, so I do not know how well that goes for them. So that's plus, you know how in the United States you cannot pretty much go nowhere as far as the nature. It's like the only very few places that's available for us to visit. The rest of it you just cannot. So, and the vast territory of the United States, I mean, it's pretty much inaccessible for humans right now. And my sister, she's in Russia. She also told me a couple weeks ago uh, they they pretty much have same situation in Russia right now. In Russia, you used to can go anywhere where car can actually drive, physically drive. Everywhere you can go and camp for free, of course. And right now, it's also not possible. And they're explaining this because humans are fascinated by fire, and it's something that used to take a lot of people. Like if fire somewhere, people just go there and looking at it, right? So I had to repeat myself like 4 times uh, until people even react on what I'm saying. So I mean, and I still do not understand what they're able to understand what I'm saying or not. So yeah, I do think that the wilderness area is gonna be overtaken by some other species. That's why we cannot go there. And they trying to keep us like zoo animals over here. Okay. Last time I speculated a little bit about what is the next step um, the powers to be going to be taking. Um, Apparently, they usually show us their plan before they do it. Like, for example, when I was the first one in Mandela affected community who actually tell everybody about Event 201. So that was the plan for the epidemic itself. Uh, the next steps for 2021 is pretty much if you look up, it's uh, it's pretty much it. Is this leaked info really through those crazy COVID plans for 2021? You decide. So you just simply type it in that and you're going to be able to find it, or I probably going to be able to post it links to this article below in the comments below. So uh, it's uh, it's leaked information been posted on October 10, 2020. And it goes exactly like what was happening over here. So because right now it doesn't matter where in the world you are, pretty much events happening exactly the same way. So some stuff from this article already come to fruition. All those the masks, the lockdowns, the inability us to do a lot of stuff, the COVID deaths, and et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. Some travel restrictions and stuff like that. It's all already happened. Uh, what it says than it was before. So do what you need to do to prepare yourself for that, because it's in their plans. So it's most likely gonna the way they're actually predicting. Next thing, it says deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas, as well as major roadways to establish travel checkpoints, restrict travel and movement, provide logistical support to the area expected by probably end of 2021. It's going to be a little bit different in all countries, but I think that that's going to happen too. They're also predicting over here projected COVID-19 mutation and or co-infection with secondary virus referred as COVID-21, leading to the higher mortality rate and higher rate of infection. So they're probably going to use this supposedly virus strain from India and stuff like that. And plus, right now they're also talking about uh, black mold affecting people who had COVID or who supposedly not did not take shots. It's supposedly gonna affect them. So it's just prepare for that too. As right now, uh, from my point of view, like for a couple months they did not beam us with microwaves. So I felt pretty good. My boyfriend felt pretty good. But about 10 days ago, they started beaming us again. I actually experiencing headaches and I lost some. I cannot feel hot stuff like hot peppers or onions. I can literally eat like apples, and I'm not gonna feel it. So they saying, but oh, that's because of the virus affecting. Because of location of a virus, it's affecting your mouth area and stuff like that. No, that's actually parts of your brain because of microwave actually like it creates blood clots and parts of the brain but responsible for the taste or uh, or smell or pain. Actually, in my case, it's also pain. Reduce the pain perception is actually reduced dramatically. So I kind of like that side effect. I do not particularly like absence of taste, but you know, it is what it is, and it's also sooner they turn off microwaves and actually recover pretty quickly. So the parts of the brain that suppressed right now, they're gonna recover sooner they to turn that stuff off again. So the only way to protect yourself against that, pretty much high dosages of vitamin C, vitamin D, which is you have to be outside as much as possible, and also a reduction of internet exposure or phone exposure. So, like pretty much, if you can be outside as often and more as possible. That's my advice. So that I actually should do that. Should do that myself also. So let's see what else they saying about predictions for for our future till the end of the. Well, it's also saying about World Debris Set program. You can read about it on your own. It's like, and I have two children to support, right? So if they're gonna tell me high true love stories, if they're gonna tell me that we're not gonna give you food stamps unless you get vaccinated, or worse, we're gonna put you in a FEMA camp and separate you from kids if you're not gonna vaccinate. What your choice going to be? Honestly, if I were by myself, yes, I could fight to the end. But when you with kids, when you're actually responsible for the lives of others, are you gonna risk life of others for your beliefs? You know, it's just certain stuff is quite questionable and crazy. And I also believe that we're gonna be able to, like those vaccines. Yes, they will change our DNA, but they're not going to be able to disconnect our spirit from the source. I do not think they're going to be able to succeed in that endeavor because uh, when they're pressing like that, there is it's no free will, it's no free choice. It's pretty much uh, draconian methods or how that's called. Uh, yeah, so we'll see. Well, that's pretty much it from my part today. If you have any questions, I'm now able to look at the screen and let's talk about something. I like I also see two huge deceptions going on as right now for the people who are potentially able to leave the matrix. Deception number one, it's like everyone who is able to leave this matrix, we all feel that we live in the end of times. It's just it's undeniable feeling, and we have a lot of stuff going for it. It's a climate change. Hi dragonfly. So we all see what's happening, right? So there is two deception. Number one is second coming of Christ, And number two is coming of the aliens who supposedly will rescue you. It's like aliens, or you can say going to the fifth dimension or graduating from planet Earth. So there is two deceptions like that, and both of them pretty much the same. So by analyzing that, I actually think you feel that it's your time and you to leave this place. There is no other way around that. Okay. About Jeffrey Doherty, I was trying to schedule a live stream with him. Apparently, um they banned his channel for right now, and he is on. I don't know. I was not able to actually to. I emailed him, but he was not able to get back to me. We'll see. Like I'm still trying. I know it's probably deception. It's probably, but by going to the big channels, I actually trying to get to the people who are still searching right people. You know. Okay, there will those who have a lot of issues with. Uh, I'm aware who he is. I'm just using the platform to reach others. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. But again, um, the algorithm does not allow us to transmit our own truth. So pretty much, in in order to me, for example, for me to find you, I actually had to I had to go to the certain channels which I don't even uh, support or like, sometimes. So yeah. And plus, he also was mentioning that he's a witch, and that's usually like self-proclaimed witches. They, they only on the first stages they self-proclaim witches, and later they get contacted by the real witches, and after that it's a part of the same organization. And this organization has many surfaces and faces, bad and good, and and pretending to be good, and it's all about power play, in my opinion. If you have any questions to me, I'm reading live chat right now. I'm ready to answer if I know the answer. Sometimes it's like even I don't have to think long enough. Maybe I already thought about that question. That's how I have some answers. By the way, check it out True Life Stories channel. If you not into psychedelics like DMT and LSD, that's the actually channel to go to, because people uh, who have extensive experience with those substances, they actually can very accurately describe trips, who they meeting on their trips. Like in order to know non-physical dimension, you don't have to die at that point. You can just use other people experience and see what's out there. Like for example, majority of people who've been taking DMT, they met machine elves. So that's one of the entities who actually live in non-physical dimension. And you know, some people actually on DMT were able to meet cheeses. Same thing with people who had near-death experience. They also met this entity. So I do not see big difference between uh, Jesus and Reaper. You know, he's pretty much a non-physical entity who able to take a form and shape of the cheeses, the ones that you see on the pictures, and he's actually consuming souls, and he's a pretty huge entity as right now, pretty huge parasitic entity, you know. And also, I would say the ether is organic consciousness. That's where we come from, and we do not need extra energy to exist. People who um, well, there is also like Dragonfly saying, yes, I heard you say that people who work as police, doctors, teachers are not like us. But I work in one of those professions and I always have empathy and I'm awake and aware. Uh, there is always an exception, and plus, how your coworkers did they like you or you were outcast, you know? Like for example, from all of my teachers that I had, I had one teacher of physics. Uh, his last name was Tarunov, and he was actually was my mom physics teacher when he was young, and after that he was extremely fast promoted, and he was working to the for the Russian. They probably just disconnected. I'm still transmitting. I don't know how many people is actually listening. So Dragonfly, are you still teaching? Because as right now, I do not think that anyone still actually in those professions anymore. Because it just simply going to be impossible. With us seeing a Mandela effect, for example, right? And you you would be influencing a lot of people like children. Not somehow you probably it's probably there is no such a thing as coincidence here. So they knew you're gonna be doing something, and it was too dangerous for you to be at the same profession. I would say everyone who's still at those professions right now, that's the evil ones. Before it was sort of acceptable because we all been deep asleep, and plus we believe in this in the goodness what they they were telling us, you know. uh, Dragonfly, I'm saying it's I'm pretty sure you're a good teacher, you've been doing the best you can, but you're not now, and I'm talking about those professions right now. That's all they face, you know. It's like I cannot see how doctors cannot be good right now if stuff like that, like COVID and everything else, go. I mean, it's just impossible. It's just impossible right now. If you still have this profession, that's just impossible to do good by doing what those people are doing. You know? I think I also how that's this dude name. He was a police officer, but he's not anymore, and he has channel. I recommended him in my videos earlier. Forgot the name of the channel. Gosh, he was detective, so his logical mind was actually very helpful to figure out. Outside? No, David, I'm on a live stream. So, and strangely enough, he also retired before 2016. So it just, stuff like that. Yes, I'm talking Overwatch channel. Yes, that's the one. I think he posted his last video and he said he's gonna just do different platforms and not doing YouTube anymore. So if it's actually a good channel, it's a lot of logic why cheeses and why all of that is just so stupid. He just simply put it. I mean, it is what it is. The logical thinking cannot be completely taken away. It's supposed to be all together. But also, just based on logical thinking, sometimes you can get to not correct decisions also because, like for example, another channel I always recommending it's Theory Apophysis. If you're familiar with this one, Theory Apophysis is an excellent channel, but he's completely denying completely denying spiritual part, not spiritual, but unconscious part of your mind. Like for example, uh, denied, not denied, like I'm pretty open-minded about people who actually taking psychedelics. I experienced psychedelics myself, and I saw some stuff which cannot be taken away. And he's like saying, "Oh, I never took a drug in my life." I mean, uh, you cannot be proud of certain stuff like that because you simply do not know what you're talking about while you're discussing other people. And talking about the dreams being just desires, just desires what you could not play out in real life. That's also stupid. Yeah, so another channel I also recommend is Flying Rainbow Lasagna. You know, she's at least honest enough to tell that she's the one who pretty much possessed the girl body. The body snatcher, but she is honest about it. She also talking about those entities who inhibiting non-physical world and how they trying to change. Like they actually scared. You can actually feel it, and you can learn a lot of stuff from pretty much opposition, just smart opposition. Like for example, Dan Winter, his YouTube channel is pretty good. And again, his mistake is not mistake. I think it's deliberate. He is pretty much saying that soul can be developed. It's like, oh, humans developed enough to be able to join this alien federation. I mean, come on. The soul is something it's been given and can be degraded, yes, but it cannot be developed. You either have it or you're not. But it's also a lot of information you can learn from him. Like apparently he using some some guides. Like some aliens can tap into your thinking processes, and you can actually communicate with them. A lot of stuff like that. Plus, because he is a physicist, he able to explain a lot of stuff. So it's a lot to learn from him also. I actually do do like channels like that where you can actually learn stuff and see the bigger picture and see how everything works. Because the best liars, I would say, they would use 90% truth and only 10% of lie. And it's for you to actually filter it and see what's true, what's lie. And, you know, that's what I'm doing, at least. But then, of course, people who uh, figure out all the truth, then they're not allowed to speak out. So you just pretty much sitting around and like for example, for me, they put me already in category but I'm crazy, you know. It's like, okay, if truth is crazy, okay, I'm crazy, you know. So be able to sort of levitate and everything like become not completely not stable. It's like almost like a water. It's almost like water running over the surfaces. So that's the sum of the recurring dreams like that. Um, I also see sometimes the explosion coming from the sun. So maybe that's probably gonna occur also. So we'll see. You know. Yeah, I know it's buffering a lot. I have most internet possible, and I'm actually connecting to Ethernet cable, and that's the third Ethernet cable I'm actually using, and it's still not good enough. So, but I believe you're able to to get some information from me. What do you think? What are you guys thinking about terraforming of Earth? Does it resonate with you? Like even those masks, right? Because reptilians does not need amount of oxygen we actually consuming. It's actually really helpful for them. But on the other hand, for the humans, the more oxygen we have, less diseases we're gonna have. You know. So I'll start making some kind of noise. Okay. I guess I run out of topics for today. Um, if I come up with something, I'll do this again. At least I don't have to upload the stuff. Oh, by the way, my last transmission, I looked I looked at myself, and the image of me was like falling apart and everything. Um, so I always was pretty much judging people by when stuff like that happens, when they look like completely weird. I think my image falling apart over here can be explained by bad internet or uh, I don't know. It just I do have bad internet, or because we in AI actually running the stuff, and it just give me a taste of the taste of my own medicine. The way I was judging people, now I look like that. But yeah, it's a lot of glitches in Matrix, especially in the sky. It's major and major appearances of UFOs, um, other things happening. It's like even if you slow down enough yourself and look at the some, even on TV, it's just like the stuff is just when you're looking not from yourself outside, from the side of yourself, the stuff is already moving. And the hologram cannot hold on itself. You know what interesting me about the black goo? Um, some channels. I don't remember what channel it was. Yes, absolutely. UFOs cloaked in the clouds for sure, 100%. Because if you have intelligence like us, what you would do if you wanna hide yourself? You're gonna look like environment. So there is YouTube channel of Gina Marie Cohen talks about it. Okay, I'll check her out because uh, when I was watching the uh, Biden eyes sometimes completely become black, just like the grays. And my understanding is the AI was able to completely overtake certain individuals, and that's that's how it looks like when you when AI overtake individuals, but the eye is completely black, like completely black without whites at all. So it seems like the Earth. Let's put it that way. It was two groups of people when we started playing the game, right? In the very beginning, before death was created. This game was created, and it has space and time, uh, and it was pretty harsh. It is hard game, right? So it's for two groups, and one group decided to cheat it, and the cheaters, of course, they won. It's usually in situations the strongest survive, right? So the strongest and the cheaters, what they did, they're the one who created the death, and what they did, they pretty much overtook the ones who were nice and were playing fairly. They pretty much took them and they erased their memory. That was the first occurrence of death in the system. And pretty much what they did next. Oh, gee, that's my cat jumped on the computer for some reason. So uh, they overtook that group of good people, and first of all, they abused them, they raised them, and they created animals from them, and pretty much created like a zoo for us over here on Earth. Um, they put us in the bodies which is not compatible with us pretty much. They're so simplistic compared to our abilities. It's pretty much like I created the jails, and they themselves went play other games. Like in the end, they become Draco reptilians. They become Palladians. They become Andronomids. They become all kind of stuff all other entities, extraterrestrial entities. So that's pretty much that second part, the ones who cheated. And what they decide to do, they decide to run their societies together with AIs. Like they created AI who've been running their society. And what happened, that super AI pretty much overtook them, was able to figure out how to reproduce itself and start eating up all their civilizations. And in the end, the safest civilization left over is pretty much humans. So my parents both were like pretty much natives, and my place was overtaken by Russians approximately 300 years ago. So, and by the time I was born, pretty much the native people were less than 20% in my area, and majority of them were already mixed. So, yeah. Yes. Um, I'm just saying I'm not completely Russian. I'm like pretty much like native native to the Russian area, but I'm not Russian itself. I'm from Russia, but Russia has states, and each state pretty much had certain nationalities that have been living there for centuries before Russia overtook them. But I would say in a lot of Russian people, a lot of them is also have a reptiloid roots. You know the way they look. Yeah, pretty much everyone who are able to oppress and suppress other people. It's like that's why majority of us who is surviving this matrix, as right now we pretty much do not have much material stuff. We did not achieve much in society. We've been suppressed, oppressed, and laughed at. It's like, well, what's matter? Who will gonna love last? You know, like the solution for this universe, the way I'm seeing, it's pretty much everything but parasitic, everyone which is not connected to the ether, to the eternal life, light, to the ether. That. Thank you very much for listening and being with me. Yeah, with everything you actually, the way you percepting reality and stuff like that, it's very important to listen to your inner self, like the first impression, the things that give you epiphany. It's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I thought. That's exactly how I thought it would be, right? That's the stuff you have to pay extreme attention to. The stuff that gives you chills, it's also because your spirit is actually affecting your glands first and foremost. It's not so much the